Like, are they playing airsoft? Like, what's going on? I still don't have an answer for this. Okay. I don't know what happened there. I do think it's pretty funny that, like, that's all it took for people to be like, oh, this is obviously, it must mean that, like, there's a Venezuelan gang that's running the slums now. Bro, this is so unimaginably racist. Holy.
One of my intelligence executive, Josh School. Let's just get your initial thoughts about what we saw in Aurora, what we're hearing about in Massachusetts. We know that there's all across the country, but specifically in Aurora, why would the Aurora Police Department be reluctant to say this is a typical gang activity from trained Arawak?
Because they're woke. Because when they did Elijah McClain, they did it in a woke way. Okay? That's why. Because they're woke, they're gay, they're woke and gay, they're trans, which is the most gay you can be and the most woke type of gay you are, okay? That's why, because that's the wokest police department of all time, okay?
Well, I think they're looking to substantiate proof in a law enforcement setting for a judicial proceeding. Well, you can highly suspect that it is gang from Venezuela until you actually can prove it. They're going to be reluctant to put out.
Yeah, cops never jump to conclusions when it comes to, like, pointing the finger of blame at a minority. Famously so. Cops always are so reluctant to make broad sweeping declarations that vilify marginalized groups of people and then also literally lie about it in a court of law. A practice so popularized in American policing that there's a term for it. It's called test-the-lying, okay? Like testifying, but instead of the "fy," you put the lie in there. Test-the-lying, lying on the stand. That's how commonplace of a practice that is in American policing, that there's a term for it. Now, having said all of that, it is wild that this dip still is like, yeah, these cops are, they're brave boys and girls in the blue. And, they're doing due process. They're doing investigations. And I guess they haven't found sufficient evidence. Or maybe they're not. They looked at the Ring video footage and were like, this looks insane. Let's go investigate. I know that they did that because I read a Fox News article. Or not, it wasn't a Fox News article. It was a USA Today article where the police chief says Colorado apartment is not being taken over by Venezuelan gang despite viral images. Okay? So what did the cops do is a question that you might have in this situation. Well, they went to the apartment complex and asked around. Here they are at the apartment complex asking around. Here's some more viral, well, less viral, but still, images of them doing the job that they're supposed to be doing. And also, they asked the tenants, and the tenants were like, yeah, no, there is no gang coming around collecting rent. APD officers have been proactively patrolling the areas where there is suspected TDA activity. Today, Interim Chief Heather Morris and several officers connected with residents at the Edge at Lowry Apartments at Dallas Street and 12th Avenue to offer reassurances, provide updates on criminal activity in the area, and learn about living conditions at the complex. Below is an update from Chief Interim Period Chief Morris. It's not working, of course, because Facebook video, classic. Tren de Aragua gang members confirmed in Aurora, Colorado. Rumors of the complex being run by the Tren de Aragua, a large criminal organization from Venezuela, began circulating. Dude, one of my favorite things is when conservatives are like so that they learn like the intricacies of like Venezuelan gang activity in America. It's like no conservative should know what this gang name is, okay? For the record, I do want to point to something, okay? Do I believe that there is gang activity in a slum? Yes, I do. In an underserved community, can some of those gang members also be a part of this Venezuelan gang? Sure. Do I believe that the Venezuelan gangs have actually overtaken some of these slums and are collecting rent? No, I don't. I don't believe that. That's what is more likely in this circumstance is the slumlord decided to hit the button in an effort to evacuate the slums that he is the landlord of, that he has left in a dire situation, and instead is trying to get them out of there so that they can, I guess, like demolish it and rebuild something else. Oh, I always voted green for 10 plus years and I always will, brother. And now I'm running green for Senate. I have thousands who back me already. I'm speaking in many churches, metal shows, anywhere I can. We still here, brother. I love you regardless. Good luck, Psycha Micah. You will still see the top of the hour ad break regardless, okay? Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And unless you have $6 in your pocket right now that you can use to subscribe, you're going to be hit with a 3-minute ad break. Here it is. Spartan Katie 21, thank you for the 531 gift to subs. Macron said half of the arrests in Paris were immigrants, even though it's a lie. Look forward to the Dems doing the same in a couple of years. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet. I can't fix my tenants' apartments because of the gangs. It's not my fault. I'm a slumlord, Sag. You literally want people with your new huge Toyota? What? I haven't even gotten it yet. Also, the 4Runner is like, you know, it's big, but normal SUV by American standards, like smaller than the average SUV by American standards. It's just a SUV.
Got quite a few.
I mean, I rest my case. Dare I say more? Interim police chief, woman. Yeah, something's going on here. Methinks it's woke.
Of our officers out here.
Oh my God. I think Republicans are going to start doing that. The methinks type. They already do like epic bacon posting.
That are out here tonight again. I've been out here for several weeks, making contacts with our residents, reassuring them about the criminal activity that's happening here and how we're going to address it. We're out here. We want to reassure the people that live in this community that we are actively investigating criminal activity that's happening and listening to them to...
It's giving woke. Silence is violence, Sweaty. Why are you silent about the Venezuelan gangs? I guess you don't care about brown people being terrorized. Vote for Trump and he will stop the gang activity.
So that we can learn anything that we're missing.
John McCain's son endorsed Harris. Bro, I cannot begin to explain to you. Like, I'm falling out of my chair with how little I give up about John McCain's son. I didn't even know he had a son. I only knew he had an annoying ass daughter. There's a son now. He should have stopped a long time ago. Well, he can't anymore because he's dead. But like, God damn, dude, what the, please, what are you saying? Oh, this is going to have a momentous impact on the election. Holy dude, John McCain's son endorsed Kamala Harris. What the, his son was captured until very recently. So wait, what? No way that both John McCain and his son were no, you're lying. Shut the up. Oh, you're joking. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, how far did the McCain incompetence strikes again? Something's just running the family. This is CNN.com front page news. Wow, they're really capturing the attention of what Americans care about. No, this right here, okay, this right here, chatters, is when the media is, unironically, Trump is right about this, doing liberal media, okay? This is when they want you to care about something that absolutely zero people will care about, and no one will remember this moment 3 months down the line, okay? But they'll still try it, you know? God bless them for trying, but no one cares about this. Oh, I have a tummy ache.
Out a statement. Further, we don't know whether or not there is process underway to actually disrupt conspiracies, which would then be public in court documents.
I see. Okay.
So how bad do you think this is? I mean, obviously we're waiting on confirmation of exact ties to the gang, but you look
personally, I am very interested to find out what this ring footage is about.
So how bad do you think this is? I mean,
like, what were they doing?
Obviously we're waiting on
like, are they playing airsoft? Like, what's going on? I still don't have an answer for this. Okay. I don't know what happened there. I do think it's pretty funny that, like, that's all it took for people to be like, oh, this is obviously, it must mean that, like, there's a Venezuelan gang that's running the slums now.
confirmation of exact ties to the gang, but you look at that video and wow, is there something happening in that city, in that town? I mean, Aurora, just outside of Denver there, people are terrified about what they're seeing. I mean, they're in the Target stores there. Businesses feel targeted. And I've worked the phones this week trying to get people to come on to talk about it. No one there wants to talk about it. Why?
Yeah, you're not. So you're literally admitting you're not doing journalism. Like, yo, I swear to God, you could convince like entire segments of the population that Wyoming is a real state. I know it's not. We all know it's not a real state here at the HasanAbi broadcast, but like people could be convinced that there is just a state called Wyoming where there are more cows than people. Like, obviously we know the truth. It's not a real state, but people can be convinced of anything, including the statehood of Wyoming. Okay? Absolutely no one would believe that. Come on. At least pick a realistic name, right? Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They fear they will be targeted by these gangs.
And gangs rely on that fear to keep communities quiet. I saw that the Aurora's creating a special task force. There's already task force and gang task forces.
Bro, if someone's knocking on my door and I look out of the keyhole and I see a dude with I'm not opening that door. You know what I'm saying? That's dangerous prospect right there. That's not good.
Tonight,
that can be oriented with federal dollars towards these gangs and to disrupt them. This is hugely concerning when you see that the level of that's going on. And if law enforcement writ large, which will be required to disrupt this gang, doesn't focus on them, they're going to continue to grow.
There was a chance for the vice presidential nominee on the Republican side, J.D. Vance, to hit the Democrats nominee, Kamala Harris, on this. Watch here.
Kamala Harris let in people who shouldn't be in this country to begin with. Kamala Harris opened the border, suspended deportations on day one, and stopped.
Also, who does entry with a like that's just tactically a bad decision, you know? Like, who the is literally knocking on the door with a dog? What are you doing? Are you gonna quick scope the guy inside? Like, how? You ain't FaZe Clan. You ain't phased up, dog. You can't do that. That doesn't work in the real world, you know? You wouldn't understand libcug.
Stopped Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. When Donald Trump is president, we're going to re-implement deportations, re-implement Remain in Mexico, and tell people they got to go back where they came from and come through the proper channels.
We know from polling that the economy is the #1 issue, but immigration is right below it. And is from your experience looking across the nation, you know, Colorado's not the only place dealing with this. What are you hearing from other entities?
It's wild how little we give a fuck about like the actual people that we supposedly are we supposedly seem to care about in this story, like the tenants that are being brutalized by this gang. And then like when tenants are actually asked, they're like, yeah, there's no gang takeover, man. What the are you talking about? And it's like, there's an absentee landlord though. Okay. What is this? I've been getting stories of people too. That tell the truth. They're afraid to speak out because no one does anything. Girl, I'm a property management in an apartment complex in Aurora, and we've been getting a large number of Venezuelans moving in, and the properties never looked as dirty as it does now. We charge them trash fees, but they don't care because they have all these fees organizations paying up for a year of rent. Also, gunshots at night, and police never show up. I had a guy walking around with a knife, and police never showed up. My husband had to stand up to the man. Wow, what a source. Thank you. Hey, look at my ass property manager source. Who are you going to believe? The actual victims of this supposed gang activity, who also happen to be brown, or this property manager that's saying Venezuelans are disgusting? Yo, this story is awesome. It contains multitudes. Okay. Yeah, we care about the tenants, by the way, just, you know, not really that much because they're Venezuelan, and also dirty because they're Venezuelan. Can I repeat that the Venezuelans are dirty tenants? Holy, I'm Venezuelan, and no shot would I have not heard Venezuelan migrants are getting 1 year of free rent in the USA, Lamau. You've opened my eyes to the American brain rot, and it's driving me insane. Yeah, no, because of this rumor, they're like the Venezuelan families that live there, by the way.
Well, other entities you're seeing, we saw in New York, Louisiana, Miami. The most recent reporting has rings going all the way through Virginia and other states. So again, they're going to exploit the border. In order to exploit the border, they have to have relationships with Mexican cartels, which are very powerful. Venezuelan gangs operating in the United States with relationships with the Mexican cartels is very concerning for U.S. law enforcement. And when they go into these smaller towns, Aurora is a relatively large, but they're not a major metropolitan city like New York. There has to be federal resources directed to in order to disrupt this and dismantle this gang before it continues to grow in power.
You know, with your experience with working with gangs and fighting against them,
has anyone actually figured out where this apartment ring video footage came from? Because I know it was like a lady who claimed to be in an apartment and scared of like the gang activity or whatever, and then they just like told her to get new locks on her door, and then also get ring cameras and whatever. And then she took this footage to a councilwoman, in Aurora, and then the councilwoman literally was like, we're gonna move you out of there, and then they moved her to like a different apartment or something. Also, why do they cut the feed is immediately once the door opens? Yeah, I have no idea what the it is. I don't know where the video came from. All I know is the person who was responsible for the footage from the door camera is like relocated to a better apartment, apparently, by the very same councilwoman that like has made this a national story.
You look at what's happening there in Denver, and reportedly, this gang has green lighted their members to attack police. I mean, the worst kind of one who has no fear of repercussions, no fear of breaking the law, and no fear of police even confronting them. How do you fight this when you're law enforcement? How do you show up and take care of these guys?
Well, first of all, you work in a joint environment where you have state, local, and federal law.
Well, they're being outright disrespectful to this guy working from home by making a big mess and being quite loud.
Law enforcement working together. You're aware of the threat, so you take huge precautions. But it is concerning that an armed gang would think that they could operate the same way in our country that they did in other countries, where we have reporting of them law enforcement that weren't cooperating with the gang. The way you do this is you create the task force, and you operate with Safe Streets task forces to dismantle.
Will anyone be held accountable for just like making this a national news story? Of course not. Just like, remember the week-long sequence of stories that came out of those like those migrant kids, like the teenagers who flipped off the cameras after they got arrested, and then like the full footage came out, and it turns out the cops were like attacking them first for no reason whatsoever, and they simply were defending themselves. And then of course they were released, but like it was far too late at that point. They had already like decided that they were going to run with the story anyway. Oh, 13 minutes ago. Goddamn. This is like breaking news.
Well, some families in Aurora speaking up after reports and video came out of Venezuelan gangs taking over their apartments. Well, last week, city leaders acknowledged the presence of Venezuelan gang activity in the city. Came after a resident shared surveillance video showing men with guns in a hallway at a complex near 12th and Dallas. Well, today, residents there, along with former residents of an apartment on Nome Street, that one closed last month, well, they were there talking to reporters. They blame the building owner for what's happening.
Just like at Nome Street, the same landlord is here, and they're trying to push the blame on the families and the residents, but we're not going to let that happen.
They are demanding the city of Aurora hold the owners of the apartment complexes accountable. You can look for more on this afternoon's rally with your reporter for Aurora, Tori Mason. She's going to join us tonight.
Local level left. Jurinsky's in league with the slumlord, has been helping evict people and slowing the city from prosecuting him. Message you in Hoscourt as well. I worked with these people while I was in office. Would love to tell you what's going on. Sure. You wanna come on and talk to us? You said you were a council member, right? Or before? I think yesterday you said that, right? It's a fabricated story concocted in partnership with John Fabricatore. Okay, dude. Now that sounds fake. His name is John Fabricatore, and he's fabricating a story? Come on, dude. Come on, dude. The Yep. Ward 4 council member from 2019 to 2023. Lloyd Forger ass name. Yeah. Good one. I've been watching a little bit of what was it, Spy Family? I've been watching a little bit of that. Oh my God, this is literally last name is Fabricatore, and he's got no neck.
Matters worse, the lawyer says the owners of the tenants at a condemned Aurora apartment building filing a class action lawsuit against the owners. They're demanding the building owners and management group get housing for people in the 98-unit apartment building at Nome and Colfax, forced out this week by the city over. Today, a judge agreed, demanding the owners provide either a comparable apartment or hotel room for the displaced tenants. A Denver civil rights attorney filed the class action suit on behalf of.
How are you going to watch this and not wish that we had Chinese style? Like, how are we not going to watch this news story of a slumlord who has like refused to do basic for his tenants? Give me 2 minutes and I'll be ready. I'm gonna call you on guest star. Okay, start stream together. Is that what it is now instead of guest star? Christ, dude, Twitch is so annoying. Here, I sent you a link to stream together, I guess. They removed the guest star feature and instead made it stream together. Why are you so obsessed with China? I mean, if there was a landlord conducting themselves in this way, they would get executed. No armed Venezuelan migrants did not take over a Chicago apartment building. I know Denver PSL did a video about it. We covered it yesterday. Donald
This
Trump
is the first time
makes
this
these
has happened, but it was some people who were trying to break in, who broke into that apartment. But it's not just those people. We've actually had other groups, other people from this country who have tried to come to the complex, who have tried to break in, who have tried telling us that there are gangs here and have tried to get into where we live.
No gangs. No gangs here. No gangs.
Jill Stein can fix this. Please stop.
Other with the other questions.
Oh my God. When Jill Stein wins, you're going to look so dumb. I agree. Okay, where's this guy? Yo, did you fabricatory your way? Performance issues detected. Oh, wait, he's in here. He's been in here. Okay. Microphone. Oh, you can hear me. All right. Tested the microphone. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Hello?
My bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Can you hear me and see me?
I can hear you just fine.
All right. Local level left. State your business.
All right.
Oh, wait, I'm gonna turn. Hold on. I'm gonna turn my camera off, and then I'm gonna try to like hide my. I just want to show you and not my camera, but it's annoying. God damn it. Let me see. What the hell is this? This is a new setting. Sorry, it's just annoying.
It's all good.
I don't know why. It's just like, whatever. I'll just put you right here. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, you're on stream. You're on screen. You're on stream.
Right. Awesome, man. Well, hey, good to finally meet you. Big fan. Before I start, I just want to let you know that you're part of the reason I ran for office originally. So thank you for being an inspiration to me and a lot of other lefties all across the country and the world. But yeah, I was on city council from 2019. I got elected in December 2019 or November 2019 and ran for mayor instead of running for my council seat because we've been in the minority out here. For those of y'all who don't know, Aurora is a heavily Democratic city. It's fairly progressive as well. This was a place that Bernie Sanders just crushed in 2016 and in 2020. But unfortunately, our current here with, they don't really care for the left, so they consistently divest in Aurora. So we end up with these weird fascists like Daniel Jurinsky on our city council because it's just the weirdest and most reactionary people who end up running for office that end up winning out here. So basically, last year, I worked with the East Colfax Community Collective and Unidos por una Nueva Economía, UNE, United for a New Economy, to go after slumlords in our city because it's been a huge issue. You're probably familiar with the Nome Street property. That was the first one that kind of made national news. I actually went and toured that building last March or May, I think May actually. I got pictures and everything if you want them. Brought those photos to our city attorney and to our regulatory agency basically in the city. And they were like, yeah, this rises to like a criminal level of like neglect and disrepair just because there's a history of going after this property in the city. It's been a nuisance for a long, long time. Basically, it's an out-of-state slumlord who owns that property and a couple of other ones, some of the other ones that are involved in this manufactured story. And he's just never done anything about it. He intentionally rents to folks who are like, you know, can barely scrape 2 pennies together, takes advantage of folks who are undocumented, but also has documented people there who are like reentering from the criminal legal system or who just frankly can't get rent anywhere else. So a lot of like month-to-month leases, really does like a piss poor job of maintaining the property, obviously. Threatens people. I heard stories from tenants when I actually went there and knocked doors and talked to folks where the guy who's their property manager sits in an office behind like steel bars in front of the window with a shotgun on his lap and a pistol on his hip and walks around and intimidates people, posts notices of like, oh, we're going to, you know, fine you an extra $200 for whatever reason, just things that people aren't even responsible for, but there's no recourse because, you know, these folks either lack the legal means to protect themselves or are undocumented and don't want to get involved with the police. But the fact that, like, you know, that they're saying now this is like a gang-related issue is complete. This is 100% a slumlord who is trying to find a way to basically continue to neglect this and to come out of this looking clean. Jurinsky, who I already mentioned, she's a virulent fascist, got elected in 2021 with a couple of other dingbats, a couple of other fascists as well. They've been basically working as a caucus to undermine any consumer protections, any renter protections in the city. Some of them ran for office because we tried to raise the minimum wage and came 1 vote short, right? That's the kind of like things that spurred them to actually do this. So what's happening here is, obviously we're 60 some odd days out from a presidential election. There's a guy named John Fabricatore. I know, like, you can't make up these names, right? But
Yeah, I thought you were lying when you said
What's that?
Fabricatore. I thought you were lying when you said John
No,
Fabricatore.
man.
That sounds crazy.
No, like it is wild, but like you can't write this, man. Like I'm surprised the Onion's still in business. But yeah, so they fabricated this story about a Venezuelan gang taking over apartments in Aurora, when it's really just this slumlord and our council members who blocked me and the Democrats, the other Dems on council at the time, from putting into place a strong ordinance that would actually go after these folks. And what I wanted to end up building it up to was expropriating the property and turning it into housing cooperatives, because these folks can already afford to pay rent. They just don't have someone who's willing to take care of the property. So let's just hand it over to the tenants themselves. These are hardworking people. Man, I toured their units, right? Like where they didn't have like the roof like caving in and letting in water. They take really good care of their living space. But it's like rodent infested. There's roaches and all this other stuff because this guy's a piece of slumlord, has never actually done anything for his tenants.
Yeah, it seemed like he was not like he didn't even like pay for the trash collection, because there was like a lot of trash piling up, and then it's being presented as though like the Venezuelans can't take care of themselves, when it's like,
exactly,
no, you have to have, as a property manager, like you like the city should be suing the property manager for not actually taking care of the trash.
Yep.
But instead
well,
it is turned. Okay, so they did. So the city did actually take action against the slumlord.
It takes years for this though, because this guy has I think he lives in Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Brooklyn.
He has the means. Yeah, he has the means to just drag this out. In the meantime, like these people are still living in squalor, and he's just working with Jurinsky and the other fascists on council and our dope ass mayor to like. And I don't mean that in a good way. Like he's a dope. Like he's the way people shit talk Biden. Like he does that too. He literally falls asleep in the middle of council meetings. He doesn't know what's going on half the time. But yeah, so they're working together to basically protect this guy. I don't know, maybe he's a big donor. I haven't looked into their campaign finance records that closely. But yeah, like it's a whole just made up story that is now putting our community at risk because like we have immigrants now who are terrified. Like I have, I still have 3 good friends on council. And they keep me in the loop as to what's going on. And it's like, it's making life very difficult for folks who are actually genuinely asylum seekers, or even just undocumented, but they've been living here for a long time. Now people are looking at them, out of the side of their eye. They're getting a lot of they feel like eyes on them whenever they go shopping and stuff like that, just because they're brown. So it's creating this whole mess. And this is all because this guy wants to run for Congress against Jason Crow, who he's the guy that defeated our now current mayor back in 2018. I think you know who Crow is. Yeah, he is trying to basically drum up this whole narrative about Aurora being a sanctuary city and doing all these things to bend over backwards to defend immigrants, despite the fact that Aurora, for I think since its inception, has been run by Republicans. The closest we've ever come to having a majority here was in 2019 when I got elected. We had 5 seats out of the 11. So not a majority still, but everything somehow then gets blamed on us for whatever reason. Well, you know exactly why, but yeah.
So
it's just
the thing that's frustrating about this is I'm seeing a similar pattern that happened at the peak of the crime panic narratives, where Walgreens was closing up shop in certain areas, like in Oakland.
Yeah.
And then they claimed that they were doing this because of the organized retail theft. This was like something that local news was talking about quite a bit at the time.
Yep.
Yeah. At the time, what's up?
Sorry. Jurinsky and Sundberg pushed that same narrative at that same time here.
Yeah.
But what's funny is we had, I think, interim chief Art Acevedo at the time. We've gone through 5 or 6 police chiefs in the last 5 years, just so you know. But he was actually came out and he was like, retail theft isn't happening here. Retail thefts are actually down. So they pivoted to, oh, well, it's just because we don't do anything about it. So it's all underreported, you see. And it's like, nope, that's still not happening.
Yeah.
So it's just when you confront them on their bullshit,
it's completely made up. And the point I was trying to make is that corporations always lie. It's obvious, it's normal, right? It's a normal part of the process. But it seems like nowadays corporations are also leaning on right-wing panics in an effort to maybe make themselves, in an effort to shelter themselves from their stock portfolio taking a massive hit, for example, because if the real issues were examined, at that time, it would probably show that like they're having a hard time competing against Amazon, and like that real estate, like commercial real estate prices are far too high to justify having like 8 different Walgreens and you know, CVS's on the same block. But if you say, oh, you're doing this because of crime, because criminals are stealing too much, then all of a sudden you're basically leaning on to the PR that already exists out there in an effort to shelter the truth, in an effort to hide what the real reasons are. And it seems like an identical situation is taking place here, where instead of this slumlord like taking ownership and recognition over the dire conditions that he's subjected his tenants to, the illegal conditions that he's subjected his tenants to, and it seems like here's a Westword.com article. Aurora judge rules gang-fearing slumlord can wait until February to resolve charges away from jury. Zev Baumgarten, who claimed the Venezuelan gangs took over his property, can now resolve outstanding code charges on February 14th. So they like delayed the trial, which he was, like you said, it takes a long time. It seems like there was already a trial in place, and he has been able to use the media-driven panic narratives of Venezuelan gangs overtaking his property in an effort to basically avoid prosecution. So it's pretty obvious what's going on here, but of course, silly people that are already invested in the narrative that you know, immigrants are doing an unimaginable, untold amount of crimes will so easily and willingly lean into this.
Yeah, it's confirmation bias, right? So that's why this just spreads like fire on Facebook and on Twitter now, because Musk has turned it into an even more of a hell site. But yeah, now we're playing catch up, trying to explain to people what's actually going on, right? Like I live here, like it's safe as any other place. None of this stuff is actually happening. But the people who are actually trying to organize against this slumlord are now having to deal with this extra level of scrutiny and persecution that wasn't there before. And one of the things that's really scary, Hasan, is that Aurora is a majority minority city, right? And 20% of our population isn't even born in the United States. And we do have a large population of visa overstayers, like you say, undocumented folks for one reason or another. Some of them actually do cross the southern border, but a lot of them are just folks who flew in and then just never left because they have friends and family here. And now they're all at risk of extra scrutiny, persecution, et cetera, from these white supremacists trying to weaponize this slumlord's negligence into an immigration story where none exists. And it's it baffles my mind that this actually works. But man, it's something that you talk about a lot. Like there's just no media literacy anymore. So people see something spun out of context, excuse me, something spun out of context or just fabricated, and they run with it. And it is nationwide news. While like this is the first time I think anyone who has like been trying to counter this story has gotten in front of someone with an actual following. So thank you for giving me the ability to do that. But like it's insane.
It says here on this article that according to records from the Aurora Police Department, Baumgarten is the owner of the apartment complex at Noam Street that was shut down by the city on August 13th for outstanding code dating back to 2020, including rat infestations, backed up sewage, and pileups of trash. Hundreds of residents were evicted in the process. Baumgarten was scheduled for a jury trial in Aurora Municipal Court on August 27th to resolve 81 charges, and then at a second date on September 5th to deal with the 24 charges he faced related to unlawful vehicles. According to an August 5th statement from Red Banyan, a Florida-based PR firm hired by CBZ Management, the company that Zev Baumgarten owns, this property, which ran Fitzsimmons Place, the complex had fallen into severe disrepair because of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua has scared away its property managers. Fitzsimmons Place is also listed online as Aspen Groves, but according to Red Banyan, CBZ Management prefers to identify the property as Fitzsimmons Place. So they're claiming that it was the gang that is the reason. But this gang narrative, exploded basically when I think one of the tenants released this in coordination with the council member that you talked about. The council member that you talked about, in coordination with her, she released this video saying like the gangs have overtaken this apartment complex. I'm terrified for my life. And then the council member literally took this tenant away, Jurinsky, and gave her another apartment. So there's like a financial interest for the tenant to keep repeating this narrative, even though I haven't seen or heard from the actual tenant at all. I'm wondering like what happened in that ring footage, like what.
No, so that's something that my council friends have like inquired about. They haven't gotten a good answer from the police department on that just yet. But to this point about like, yeah, this lady absolutely had a vested interest in telling the story that people wanted to hear, right? If you're going to get a better apartment than the slum that you're currently living in, you'll go along with it, right? Especially when someone in a position of power like a council person and like a candidate for Congress, right? If they're influencing you to do this, you're more likely to go along with it as well. So it's the whole thing smells like just horrific. And yeah, I would take all of this with a grain of salt. Like I said, I live here, man. I got 3 good friends on council still. Like this just not happening. Like our police department, who has a really awful reputation nationwide for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But Heather Morris. So Heather Morris is our interim, by the way. She didn't go for the full-time position because Jurinsky and the other little cabal of fascists basically pushed her out. They've cost us multiple chiefs over the years. They continuously overstep their bounds in the city charter. Basically pushed her out. They've cost us multiple chiefs over the years. They continuously overstep their bounds in the city charter. You are a legislator and an ombudsman for your constituent services, you don't do any HR. You don't tell officers or chiefs or anything like that what to do. The only person that we can talk to do that kind of stuff is the city manager because he's the chief executive, right? Well, they've basically thrown the city charter into the trash. I actually tried to censure Jurinsky when she first got onto council because immediately after getting on, she called for basically the chief to be fired and for her, or as an act of good faith, to fire her deputy, because she was trying to get her buddy basically made chief or deputy chief in the department. There's a whole another level of corruption here that doesn't directly tie into this broader story around immigration. But like, holy shit, y'all need to be paying attention to what's going on in Aurora and at the local level, because I guarantee you this is happening on the LA City Council. It's happening on the New York City Council. Like the local level really where the action's at. Like federal gets all the airplane, all the play and all that. But like if y'all are talking about like good quality housing, real economic opportunity and stuff like that, that actually happens at the local level. That's where all the land use decisions are made. That's where the housing permits go through and all that stuff. So transportation, I know we got a lot of public transit enjoyers in the community. So yeah, please pay more attention to the local level, chat more generally speaking. But yeah, this with the Aurora City Council and the immigration stuff, it's all.
Yeah, and I'm reading here, it says CBC Management, a company registered Baumgarten as a property manager for Fitzsimmons Place, along with 10 other properties across New York and Colorado, according to his website. 4 CBC Management properties in Aurora have outstanding code violations. I guess the Venezuelan gangs have also overtaken those other ones as well.
Oh, brother, not only that, they were here 2 years ago. So they're time traveling Venezuelan gangs, right?
Yeah.
So like TDA is that much more dangerous than
it's been the outstanding violations have been happening since 2020, not 4 years ago. No, it's been happening for even longer than that, it seems. They've overtaken they've overtaken the management. Just CBZ management, by the way, nothing else. Like only CBZ management properties across Aurora, it seems. And it certainly can't have anything to do with a slumlord. It's probably, you're right, time traveling Venezuelans and residents. Aurora, so the code violations happen, Aurora says, and residents from its properties in other parts of the metro area have complained about neglect as well.
Yep.
On August 13th, the same day as the mass eviction from the Nome Street complex, an Aurora Municipal Court judge granted an unopposed motion to vacate Baumgarten's jury trial, which pushed both court dates to a pretrial conference on February 14th, according to court documents. That pretrial conference will give Baumgarten and his lawyers a chance to resolve the charges with Aurora's prosecutors instead of in front of a jury. However, the case could still go to trial if neither party can agree on a resolution. Baumgarten also waived his rights to a speedy trial, according to court documents. And you're saying that there is potentially a connection between the Councilmember Jurinsky and CBZ management.
Yeah, I always follow the money with this stuff. So yeah, our campaign, we passed campaign finance reform back in 2020, and I think that the new portal went up in 2021. So if anyone wants to go do some snooping, you should be able to see the 2021 campaign contribution filings, and all the way up to present day in case they might have come later. But yeah, this is too, I don't believe in coincidences. Like this seems way too organized. It's tying into a Republican congressional campaign and directly buying into Trump's anti-immigration rhetoric. And the broader fascist movement that we see in the United States. Like he mentioned it in that thing, the interview that you watched a little earlier, right? So I don't believe in coincidences, especially when it comes to politics. This all seems orchestrated from the top down to me.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, you
and
bet, man. Thank you for the great work you do.
yeah, ditto, vice versa. All right. Have a good one.
Take care, man. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. That was local level left level. He was an Aurora council member from 2019 to 2023. And yeah, he was able to offer us a little bit more insight at the ground level from Aurora, where, local level left on Twitch, where obviously time traveling gangs of Venezuelan migrants have overtaken specifically CBZ property. I don't know why they chose CBZ property. It seems to me like in order to believe the story, you have to believe that, you have to believe a lot of insane things. A lot of insane things have to come together instead of something that happens all the time, which is a asshole slumlord refusing to take care of his property and leaving it in a dire state because the tenants are some of the most underserved populations. Anyway, it sucks because it's not just the right, chat, okay? It's not just the right. It's literally Jank, okay? Uncle Jank believes this. Great stuff. Crime panic narratives are so appealing to a broad subsect of the population. Zev is a former APAC board member.
Of one tenant in particular who says conditions have been unlivable since the day he moved in back in March. And to make matters worse, the lawyer says the owners of the apartment made up a story about migrant gangs overrunning the complex when it became.
By the way, this was 2 weeks ago, before the actual mainstream media coverage on it. 2 weeks ago. Hey, chat. Turns out 2 weeks ago, local news was on it.
Clear the city was about to take action.
They didn't have any excuse until it was leaked that Aurora was going to be condemning this building. Only just about 2 weeks ago did the Baumgartens and their companies hire a public relations firm to start pushing this narrative that the building was taken over by gangs. And for that reason, they had to cease property management operations. But the reality is they had ceased operations long before this news leaked that Aurora was going to be condemning the building.
Many tenants staying in hotel rooms tonight after the city and nonprofit organizations stepped in to help.
Wow, dude, that's crazy. But of course, the truth is, unfortunately, especially when the victims are marginalized people, when the victims are Venezuelan migrants, the truth is not going to go as far as a completely made up narrative, especially at a time when the made up narrative ties so perfectly to the overarching national narrative that like migrants are doing gang activity all around the goddamn nation. A Fox affiliate reporter posted claiming Venezuelan gangs took over an apartment building and threw out the previous owners. Obviously fake, similar looking to an AI image. I don't think it's an AI image. Cenk Uygur fell for it. Post Left Watch, once again, even when he's on the right side of history, still end up on the wrong side somehow. I mean, I am not in disagreement with Post Left Watch for saying Cenk is ridiculous for believing this bullshit. Okay. It just seems like not even the local residents think it's a race thing besides whoever released the ring footage. Yeah.
Venezuelan immigrants, part of the Tren de Aragua gang, breaking into an apartment complex.
Bro said Tren de Aragua gang and then literally posted a stock image of like MS-13 from the prison that they have in El Salvador.
Legal Venezuelan immigrants, part of the Tren de Aragua gang, breaking into an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. At least that's what the current narrative going viral on Twitter is right now.
They're armed and ready. They'll try to wipe your windows and then come rob you.
I see that bullet hole in my bedroom window, huh?
That's a bullet hole right there?
We've been terrorized. Gunshots, the trash piling up.
Every time we try to go to bed at night, we have to keep it like this so nobody can kick in the door.
Besides this incident caught on camera, is Aurora in flames right now? Have Venezuelan gangsters conquered the entire city? And are the Hells Angels actually on their way to enact vigilante justice on this gang while the police sit by and do nothing?
This Venezuelan gang has indeed taken over at least some of the buildings. You're saying at least 2 of the 3.
I'm the political correspondent for the Idaho Rednecks at Work. Was this just a landlord thing? Yes, brother. The landlord had kept his slums in such a dire situation that the city condemned the properties, and he had issues that started in 2020 for the past 4 fucking years. There's an active court case against the landlord, and then he goes, oh yeah, the reason why I can't take care of these properties is because of Venezuelan gangs that have overtaken the properties, and then boom, it becomes a national story overnight. Even though, and I showed you this already, There was reporting 2 weeks ago, before this became a national news story, from the actual tenants who were saying the slumlord is making up a story about Venezuelan gangs because he does not want to pick up the trash of the property. Okay? That's the real story. The real story is slumlord. Well, the real story is not a story at all. It's a real bites man, man bites situation. Okay? It's literally bites man if you're watching another slumlord not take care of one of his properties, an out-of-state slumlord not taking care of 4 of his properties in the state where a lot of low-income migrants live, okay, and being condemned by the city and having to go to court, okay? It's a real man bites type story if all of a sudden you believe the insanely narrative that like Venezuelan gangs have overtaken the property. Now, this doesn't mean that there is no gang activity in Aurora. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not even saying that this Ring camera footage is fake. Okay, it could very well be real. I don't know what the context of the footage is, but obviously the real reasons as to why these properties are in a state of disrepair for the past 4 years is because he's a goddamn slumlord and not because of time-traveling Venezuelan gangsters who went back in time since 2020 to stop this one property management company from actually taking care of his properties. 4 of the properties that this one company manages seemingly are in a state of disrepair. Why is this Venezuelan gang only targeting this guy's properties for the past 4 years? Oh!
And what I just heard from you is you don't know how they ended up there. And you even made a suggestion that they could have been sent there.
But what we're learning out here is that gang members have not taken over this complex.
The city of Aurora is contradicting itself on the extent of Venezuelan gang activity in that city. The mayor told Fox News this week the gang is collecting rent at a troubled apartment complex. The interim police chief, in a video press release, says that's not happening.
In an attempt to clear confusion and figure out myself what is and what is not fake news, I pulled up there myself to find out.
Fist up, guns down. You see that? Fist up, guns down. United we stand, divided we fall. Stop the gun violence. We're in it. We have all these ominous posters indicating some mass out here. We sure we don't?
Indicating some mass out here. Dog, you just showed this is a property protected by a veteran with an AR-15. But of course, that's a white guy most likely, so it's different. You know what I mean?
Some masked out here. We sure we don't want to roll up the window and film through it? So the surrounding neighborhoods, I'm sure, have a lot of opinions on what's going on here. Probably a lot of the negative attention that has been brought. Also, there's not a single source of media.
Venezuelan gangs are real. Just open your eyes. LATAM have a real problem with this. Did I at any point say that there aren't Venezuelan gangs, okay, in operation on U.S. soil or elsewhere in Latin America? No, I didn't, okay? I didn't say that at all. The point of contention isn't that, like, do Venezuelan gangs exist? I'm sure there are, okay? The point of contention here is, are Venezuelan gangs responsible for only CBZ properties, slums, being in a state of disrepair? Is it actually a slumlord? Is just time? What are you trying to do a 2-part debate? Like at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break? Because I'm going to ether you. Take a day off. There's no 2-parter debates on the broadcast, okay? At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you could do for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, here. Everything on Twitter is telling me we're going to show up to a war zone in this apartment complex. I doubt that's going to be the case.
So I hopped out of the car and walked straight up to the apartment complex with no clue what was going on and with hopes of not getting shot with a scoped rifle.
Is it true that gangs have taken over this apartment complex or no? ¿Traen de agua?
No sé, hermano.
Okay,
no
okay.
Sé.
¿Es peligrosa aquí o no?
Sí.
¿Sí?
Sí.
¿Por qué? Like, pop, pop, pop?
Sí, muchos plomos, sí, pero no, o sea, no
puedo
hablar más de lo que puedo decir. También es mi seguridad de mi persona.
Are most of the people that live here from Venezuela?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Edificio.
Bien?
Yes. El principio fue bien, cambiar el edificio. Todo se volvió nada. Todo cambió. Los edificios no sirven. No bueno, no good los apartamentos.
No bueno aquí.
No good.
Oh, interesante. Pregunta. ¿Es tren de agua aquí?
No.
No? Okay. Fake news? Falso news? Okay. Gracias. ¿Es tren de agua aquí o no? No. ¿Peligrosa aquí lately? No. ¿Es cierto que los pandillas se han apoderado de este complejo de apartamentos?
I wish it was real and they blackbagged him right now. I'm wishing. It's like, wow, man, some cutting edge, real investigative journalism, dude. It's just welcome back Adolf Hitler, dude. I swear to God. Yeah, coming in here with his Peggy Hill ass Spanish, being like, oh, Faco Nuzo, Venezuelan gango, Faco Nuzo, donde está la Venezuelan gango? Are they doing to you? Violencia. It's like talking to him who's about to do his like 11th hour on Uber Eats driving, okay? Donde está la gango, sir? Comprende?
¿Apartamentos o no?
No sé, porque yo vivo trabajando, yo vengo al trabajo y a dormir.
¿Cuántos años vive aquí?
Meses.
I don't understand why he's being so comfortable being a jackass, because the people that he's interviewing, from his perspective, are not human beings. Let me explain to you exactly what's going on. When you don't think that, and this is like YouTuber brain, but also white supremacy side by side, right? YouTuber brain means like everyone is just content. They're NPCs. They're content. They're giving you content. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have to treat them with respect or decency, okay? But it's an additionally deadly combo when you got YouTuber brain that treats everybody as NPCs, and also on top of that, white supremacy, reactionary sentiment, and the people that you're talking to happen to be Venezuelan migrants. So like all of a sudden, it's literally like he's treating them not as like potential victims of gang activity or whatever, but instead like just disrespecting them. You know what I mean? That's all he's doing.
¿Meses?
3 meses.
Okay, ¿de dónde eres?
Yeah, irony is that he is still conducting, I guess, so far, better journalism than Fox, but, you know, we're not going to get into that.
Okay, I'm sure that'll be a common story out here. We are not hearing any confirmed gang activity. Is that you get shot out here, by the way, guys? Okay, have you heard about, like, the gang activity and that sort of thing?
No, I hear gunshots all the time throughout the night.
Gunshots all the time?
About the apartment somewhere over here that 2 people died in.
Okay.
2 people were shot, apparently.
Is it safe out here?
During the day, mostly. I don't like to travel around through the neighborhood at night or around dusk.
Tren del agua no corren los apartamentos.
No.
Los rejas de los apartamentos.
Creo que hay una desinformación. En realidad a mí no me han extorsionado. Yo no he pagado. Yo siempre pagué aquí a los propietarios como tal, siempre. No puedo decir y es aquí porque en verdad yo no tengo conocimiento de eso.
Okay.
Y sería lo que no es. De eso deberían encargarse. Y si es cierto que está aquí metido el tren de agua.
Do you think it's motivated by fear of immigrants and xenophobia?
Creo que
like, I don't think this genuinely thinks Tren de Agua actually runs this apartment complex. You want to know why I don't think that? Because you think this Iowan would be traveling to Aurora to go be like, Tren de Agua, are you here? ¿Dónde está la Tren de Agua? If he actually thought that his life was in danger? No, exactly. This is the whole point. He doesn't believe it. Even he doesn't believe it, okay?
Que hay una campaña en contra también de nosotros los buenos, deberían abocarse a muchos padres de familia, muchas personas que tenemos nuestro proyecto, que vinimos con un futuro, que vinimos a construir un futuro, ayudar al país a que salga adelante, y creo que en el mismo saco.
Para ti, es falso información regarding la tren del agua, los criminales aquí.
Falso.
You got a door in the window right here. You got a barred wall on the wall. Someone's definitely driven into it. Everyone here's chill, but something's going down. We have broken glass over here. I don't know.
Yeah, no, dog. It's the slums, brother. What the? Yeah. I love that you see a place in like dire poverty and you immediately think, well, something's gone down here. It's like, yes, dude, they're poor. Okay.
I don't know if we want to find out what's going down in there, but there's some noise calling me in. There's broken glass, broken windows, broken doors everywhere out here. Pregunta para ti. Hola. ¿Tú sabes del video? No. Allí. Okay. Es peligroso.
Okay. He's not getting what he wants out of the tenants. I suspect that at a certain point, he's going to do one of those classic Tyler Oliveira things and go find like a white supremacist like blogger in the area whose name is like Groiper Hitler, 1488. To come in and just be like, yeah, there's a lot of gang activity. Actually, they raped my mom, specifically because she was white. And then they raped me. And they said, this one is for Maduro and for communism. Okay. And then that's like going to be the end of this. I don't know. I doubt that he's going to. Yeah, the Tim Pool method. Exactly.
¿Rosa aquí o no?
Sí.
Sí. Porque actividades criminales.
Sí.
Ok. Muchas policías recientemente.
Mucho.
Porque papá.
Sí, por
Okay.
muchos balazos.
¿Cuántos meses vive aquí?
2 años.
Pregunta para ti. Hola. ¿Tren de agua? No. ¿Mucha? ¿Peligrosa? Okay. Bien. Tren de agua is here, he said. I said dangerous. He said no. And find out. Oh, great. This is not a good sign. We got.
What? This is not a good sign. Folks, Tren de Agua has put forward some scary signs that say, fuck around and find out.
And find out. Oh, great. This is not a good sign. We got large piles of uncollected trash here. Normal, standard. We got the van normal. I'm pretty sure this means stop the violence or something. Is it safe out here? Yeah. No? Okay, be safe. Cops are out here often?
Yeah.
Lots of shootings? Shootings last night? All right, be safe. Is it fake news?
Sí, es que acá vivimos, trabajamos y, o sea,
Okay.
llegamos del trabajo y para la casa nos acostamos
Okay.
temprano.
¿Cuántos años vive aquí?
No, yo acá tengo 8 meses.
¿De dónde eres?
De Venezuela.
Okay. Did you see the video of the guy with the big rifle?
Ah, sí.
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 Okay. ¿Qué es?
O sea, no sé porque yo no los conozco. No.
Okay.
Nosotros llegamos de trabajar y para la casa.
Muchas de las personas aquí ilegales de Venezuela.
De Venezuela. Yo soy de Venezuela. O sea, yo estoy arreglando mis papeles porque la verdad entramos fue por migración.
I see. I want to see if it's false, fake news regarding the gangs inside the buildings. Can you take me inside and give me a tour?
¿Pasar ahí por ahí?
Sí.
Sí.
¿Sí posible? Okay, vamos. ¿De Venezuela?
No.
What does he think? Like there's just a protective barrier that allows outsiders or refuses outsiders to come in. Like they just don't let you do it.
Yo soy de México.
México. Okay. Muchas personas aquí tiene papá.
Yo no he visto ninguna pistola.
Okay. So muy tranquilo.
Sí, yo estoy tranquilo. Aquí
Okay.
estoy tranquilo.
Okay. ¿Qué? ¿Cuántos por rent? ¿Cuántos dólares por meses?
¿Renta?
Renta, sí.
Están cobrando como 1,300, 1,400.
Okay.
Holy bro. $1,300 to $1,400 to live in a goddamn slums, dude, where your landlord won't even take care of your basic necessities. God damn it, America is so ass, bro. Holy, in Aurora, dog. Oh my God, dude.
Chill up here. Pretty nice place.
Bro, one of the units I toured had holes in the roof, and the couple living in it were paying $1,200 a month. That's what this is paying $1,300 a month for, bro. I'm losing my mind.
Got a nice view. 301? Oh, es aquí. Un momento, yo quiero mirar un video. Este.
Ese apartamento no es aquí.
¿A dónde eres? It's a white door. Maybe they got a new door?
Hay diferentes apartamentos. 301. Pero no.
¿Qué es esto? It's a reinforced wall. Take a look at this. What is this? ¿Una persona vive aquí?
No sé, yo sí vivo en está cerrado.
Should I knock?
Sí, no, suena.
Hola. The doors are walled off right now.
Esas puertas son normales, pero yo no había visto eso.
Okay. Hola. Amazon delivery. Okay, so we got the
Yo, he's funniest, dude. That's just so hilarious. I'm losing my mind, dude. Yo, it's great, dude. That's funny.
broken glass here. Look. This is broken in too long ago. This looks like it's in a pretty bad state of disrepair. We got Feastables on the ground though. That's crazy. Mr. Beast Feastables on the ground in there, along with heroin needles and fentanyl foil and trash. This is quite the experience. Oh boy. Broken stools here. Beers all over the place. Family inside. A lot of Modelo's out here. So that looks fully boarded up right there. Like it looks like someone's reinforced their door, and that may be a new door for 301. That's my guess. I can knock. If you want to stand at a distance, minimize your risk, I suppose.
Minimize the risk.
So that looks boarded up. Looks like it's been broken multiple times. You can hear the fire alarm that hasn't been changed. That's a meme.
What's that a meme for, dude? That's a meme. That's funny, man. You're funny. You're a funny guy. Again, welcome back, Adolf Hitler, dude.
So due to recent events, I think it's understandable that no one wants to answer the door. This place is...
Or because you're a random in the middle of the goddamn day. These are migrants who've been working all goddamn night, most likely. Why the they're either A, not there, or B, even if they were there, why the fuck would they open the door to a random... Oh my God. Just think about them as how you would think about yourself. If some random person knocked on your door with a goddamn windsock and a ass microphone in the middle of the day, you probably wouldn't open the door either. Holy
up. I'm amazed people live here. This is some third world country. Mucho de este, sí? Rocks, rocas, guns, bullets.
Bro, for $1,300, by the way, that's insane. $1,300 for that. America, the land of the free, baby. American dream, bigger and better than ever. Wow, I'm amazed these people live in this.
Lots of broken glass out here.
I speak English too.
Oh.
Well, no shot. That's $1,300. He pulled that out of his ass. You're saying he pulled that out of his ass, but it was a tenant who said it, and also a literal council member from Aurora is in the chat that I interviewed earlier, and he said it was $1,200 when he went and visited these slums.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
John, all right, are these bullet holes?
Lately it's crazy.
Lately crazy?
Yeah, but you know, I stay to my business.
If you mind your own business out here, it's chill, safe.
It is safe. This one's supposed to be the safe, the best building in there.
This one right here?
Yeah, this is the best building.
Yo, any of y'all want to be interviewed in there? We're trying to figure out if the gangsters have taken this place over. I'm looking right next.
He said, I speak English too? Oh my God.
Here.
I speak English too.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
John, all right, are these bullet holes?
Lately it's crazy.
Lately crazy?
Yeah, but you know, I stay to my business.
If you mind your own business out here, it's chill, safe.
It is safe. This one's supposed to be the safe, the best building in there.
This one right here?
Yeah, this is the best building.
Yo, any of y'all want to be interviewed in there? We're trying to figure out if the gangsters have taken this place over. I'm looking right
You probably see that bullet hole in my bedroom window, huh?
That's a bullet hole right there? You got a wasp nest right next to you, too.
Yeah, it's a bullet hole right there, though.
Okay, so how often do you hear bullets out here?
Probably like every 2 days.
Damn. That's pretty, yeah?
Hell yeah. I mean, it's not too bad. Most time I'll be at work, so I don't really have to deal with a lot of it.
You ever been hit with a stray bullet out here?
Nah, not yet.
How much is it to rent an apartment out here?
Here, it's like 14. Actually, straight on the inside. And this one, the other ones look like the trenches.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I heard you have the best building out here.
Yeah, it's pretty much the best one, yeah.
The other ones they look trashed.
They made up, though.
Who's
like the Venezuelans.
Okay. What percentage?
But they cool, though. Like, I ain't got no problem with them, but, like, clean your shit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dog, what the are you oh my God, people are so stupid, bro. Dog, what the are you talking about? It is literally the responsibility of the landlord. If they're not collecting the trash, what are the Venezuelans supposed to do, bro? What are the tenants supposed to do? They're putting their trash in the trash container. How is it their How is it their fault, dog? What do you mean? This, by the way, also goes to show you that, like, you can be living in the middle of it and still be a dumbass. Just like the other guy who was like, yeah, I saw the Ring camera footage on TikTok. Okay? Like, it could be happening right next door and you would just be completely oblivious to it, and you could still be susceptible to the media framing and the narratives. Okay? Like, what do you think they're supposed to do? Like, the Venezuelans are supposed to, like, literally drive their trash in their cars to the landfill? Like, what do you mean? They're putting the trash in the trash containers, and the trash containers are overflowing. At a certain point, a logical person looks at that and goes, wow, it seems like these trash containers are overflowing with trash. Seems to me like there's a real problem here. It's probably not the fault of the actual tenants, and instead the fault of the slumlord who is refusing to take out the trash because they're not paying a sanitation company.
Yeah. Why do you think they're so dirty with all this stuff?
I just think where they come from. Maybe they just don't give because they're in a whole different new place, so they ain't got to pay for nothing. Everything free giving, you know what I mean?
Do you have beef with them that they're not paying anything, and you're like, yo, I'm paying $1,400 a month?
Hell no.
You chill with it?
Yeah, I stopped paying rent. I told them, like, two y'all come over here and fix some of these problems, like the trash, for instance. Like, why the I'm gonna be paying rent and for the some of the things that y'all post, so the stuff that's like in the leasing.
Wait, what? So he also, oh my God, this is so dumb, bro. I swear to God. He's like, I know who's contributing to the problem, but I just also wanted to save the Venezuelans. Yo, the median American voter, I know. He literally was like, yeah, I'm just not paying rent. This is relief that they're not picking up the trash. It's like, bro, you just admitted that, like, you know who's at fault here.
Contract applies to that trash.
I see.
You know, and the upkeep for the complex. And y'all not saying in agreement, so I'm not gonna pay shit.
How long you not been paying rent?
like a month.
All right. How long you plan on not paying rent?
So I'm about to be out of here today.
Yeah?
I'm moving today, yeah.
When did you notice the Venezuelans start to come in? Okay. They kind of took over?
Yeah, kind of. Like I said, man, shit. I ain't never had no issue with him like shit.
In the city responsible for picking up the trash, it depends. I mean, it's different in every municipality. Like, and for big complexes like that, it could literally be that they have like a private contractor. I would assume it's private in Aurora because, you know, Colorado shouts out the neoliberalism out there. I'm gonna tell you whose fault it's not, though. Nope, I tried to move us to a municipal or single contract holder, but Aurora is the Wild West for trash service, and the Republicans like it that way. There you go. It's not just the Republicans that like it that way, though. Like I said, this is what happens when you have a r/neoliberalism mod as your goddamn Democratic governor. That's real, by the way. He's a League of Legends player and also an r/neoliberalism mod. He is a Reddit moderator.
If I need some help with something, they help me.
Okay.
They need some help. They, you know, when they first got here, the motherfucker would be parked behind my car and shit like that. And I'll be like, hey, I don't know how you do it in your country, but right here, you don't park behind my. You know what I'm saying? I smoke your ass. It pretty much like on that type of tip.
Did you see that video of the guy kicking the door down with the scoped rifle?
Bro, dude, American brain rot is so perfect. American brain rot is so perfect because, like, that's just a regular dispute that you normally have if you've ever lived in an apartment, okay? But in America, oh, it's because he's Venezuelan. Like, that man just described, like, probably one of the most common disputes that you have when you live in an apartment complex, okay? So literally parking behind you for a short period of time, extended periods of time, whatever, okay? But immediately he ties it back to, yeah, it's because they're from Venezuela. It's like, no, dude. No, it's because they're an asshole. It has nothing to do with them being Venezuelan, okay?
Yeah, it was in the next building.
Did you see it happen in real time?
No, I didn't see it happen, but I do know them.
Is it gang affiliated?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I think they were just looking for somebody.
$1,400 to live in this hole. That is crazy. You'll notice a lot of broken glass, a lot of bullet holes in the walls. How are you? I'm doing good. We're doing like a little bit of an independent news report on what's going on out here. Would you guys want to share anything?
Bro, if this area was like a gang territory, by the way, they would have packed this YouTuber up like in a heartbeat. Okay, go try that in an actually gang-controlled neighborhood. You would have already stumbled across somebody who would have been like, what are you doing over here? What's going on? What's happening? You know? Why are you poking around with your goddamn cameras? Okay? That's it. That's like the whole point. You can't do that. This is not like a gang-controlled neighborhood, okay? Let alone a gang-controlled slum.
We've been terrorized.
Tell me about it. That's kind of what we're trying to understand.
Gunshots, the trash piling up.
I saw that. So when did the Venezuelans come in?
I'm so mad about the trash pile up being attributed to Venezuelans. This is making me so mad. Oh my God, it's making me so angry. It's like, dog, it literally is not their fault. What the are you talking about? It is entirely up to the landlord, dude. What the?
In here. That's a new thing, right?
I don't know if they're Venezuelan or not, but gangs has been in here.
Tren de Aragua?
Is it the Venezuelan gangs?
I'm not sure who they are.
But gang activities out here for sure.
Activity, yeah. For about at least a year.
And I've heard a lot of people aren't paying rent out here. Is that true?
That's what I hear. That's what we hear.
Yeah, just a lot of squatters and holdover tenants. All the inside, we just walked into each building. They're completely trashed.
It's not surprising.
Okay.
Because the whole place is trashed.
Completely trashed. Like third world abandoned building.
Is that what it looks like?
It's pretty.
I think Denver's targeted because it's centrally located and not close to the border.
Okay.
So that's why I think we're targeted.
What would be a message for like the city council or the governor or the mayor you guys would like to get out, if anything?
But shut this place down.
Shut it down?
Just like they did in Elm Street.
Okay.
Because it's the same owners. So,
And they do a poor job at vetting their tenants and maintaining the place.
Oh, it's the owners, dude. It's the owner's fault for not vetting the tenants. It's still the tenants at fault. The owners just didn't vet the tenants right. Like, the owner should have found, you know, instead of Venezuelan tenants, they should have found like Honduran tenants who famously make trash perish with their laser beams, mind-controlled laser beam powers. And that's what the problem is. It's definitely not the landlord, even though I just openly recognize that the landlord had another slum that was in a state of dire disrepair. Not once did this, by the way, talk about the active court case that we just showed. Okay? Talk about the fact that 2 weeks prior to this becoming a national news story, the landlord himself started lying about Venezuelan gangs overtaking his properties, and that's why he just has 4 properties in the Aurora region that literally are also experiencing the exact same problems. Man, must be the tenants, dude. Yeah. What powers do Mexicans have? Yeah, he should have vetted his tenants to make sure that they were Mexicans and not Venezuelans, which is a different kind of Mexican that is famous for putting trash in the trash can that doesn't magically perish somehow. Landlord hired a PR firm, and that's when they came up with the Venezuelan gangs. Yeah.
the owner needs to be locked up.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
Just for renting out these illegals.
Okay. This place.
Dude, he's mad. He's mad that the owner should be locked up for giving for renting to illegals, he says. Oh my God, dude. Americans, man. Americans, man. Not because he's like obviously a slumlord who has kept this property like a piece of. If he hadn't done that, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even. First of all, you don't even know if these guys are illegals. Okay, they're most likely Venezuelans with TPS. For the record, so they have their proper paperwork to actually work in the country. I like that, you know, his solution is correct, but the way he got there is so incorrect. Like, lock up the slumlord, but, you know, for other reasons.
This is fuck. Just take a look. Oh, this is, I mean, you can zoom in. This place is completely unkept. Complete, oh, look at that. Look in here. Completely abandoned, in disrepair. Fecal matter, piss. We may have overstayed our welcome a little bit. We've talked to a lot of locals out here. The Venezuelans say nothing's going on, no gang activity. Anyone who's not Venezuelan, yeah, there's some gang going down here. There's some crime going down. The locals, I'm hesitant to interview a lot of the locals out here because I don't want them to narc on themselves, but I do respect someone standing up for the community and I won't suppress.
What the? Yo, what do you mean? You did interview the tenants and they didn't narc on themselves at all. Bro, he interviewed the tenants. They were like, yeah, no, there's no gang activity. It's like literally. Oh my God, dude. I couldn't find them, but I'm sure they exist. And I'm just gonna make it up.
That's their voice if they want to share. So we're noticing tons of no license plates. Muchas personas aquí de Venezuela? ¿Sí? ¿Cuánto por ciento? 90, 80? 80? Okay, gracias. I mean, according to him, it's a Venezuelan community. This is little Venezuela, selling flowers on the street. Once again, this is an example of this false American dream that's sold.
And then I hopped on a call with Aurora resident and retired.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I called it. I didn't watch the video. I called it. I couldn't find the actual gang activity, so I went to like the most Hitlerian prototype I could find that will now tell me that there is so much gang activity and rapes are happening at an alarming rate. God damn, dude. God damn. That's our favorite. That's our new favorite on the broadcast, Mr. What was it? Fabricatore.
field office director to hear his opinion on what's really going on here. Is the place on fire? Do we have Venezuelans invading the city?
You know, look, the city is not on fire. Aurora's a huge place, and you know, it's a great place to be. Great schools, you know, but there are issues, just like there are with any city anywhere in the United States. And what we're seeing now is just, you know, you got one side saying it's not happening, one side saying it's happening, and then you get the social media aspects who say that the Hells Angels are coming into town, that patriots are gonna be, you know, storming these apartments.
So like the RNC is literally just paying these YouTubers? No, man. You know what's paying these YouTubers? The fact that this video was posted 21 hours ago and it got 1.2 million views. Reactionary, right-wing, rabid, sociopathic behavior gets rewarded with algo boosts. Okay? That's it, dog. That's it. That's literally it. How much you want to bet? My coverage on this, which includes interviewing a former council member, looking at fucking actual news articles, showing you what happened in what the actual truth is about the situation. That's gonna get. We're gonna upload this YouTube video. That's probably gonna get like maximum 200,000 views. Okay. If I were to just fucking sit here and lie and talk about how like Venezuelan rapists have overtaken, like a rape gang has overtaken fucking Aurora, Colorado, from the same fucking setup, from this room, reacting to this video and saying like, you know, oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe what has become of this beautiful country. It would get 1 million views. That's how it works. Okay. That's it. That's it. People are fucking, people have made up their minds on the subject.
State of Colorado is a
For
sanctuary.
the YouTube description, I'm the Juan Marcano on socials, former Ward 4 city council member.
State started really letting in a lot of migrants that are coming up from the border. When we look at this, it's mostly young male Venezuelans that have come up from Venezuela who are not highly vetted at the border. There are probably plenty of Venezuelans.
Yeah, I mean, this guy literally is running for office. Like, he's lying. He's lying because he's a former ICE agent running for office. He is just repeating Trump statements. Why the fuck do right-wingers who do understand this, okay? Why the fuck do right-wingers who definitely understand that, like, politicians lie when they're talking about Kamala Harris never exercise that same level of critical thinking when it's a fucking thumb-looking dipshit who happens to agree with their, you know, wild fears about Venezuelan rapist gangs or whatever.
Venezuelans that have come up here to Colorado that are busting their butts, but there is this criminal element that has made their way into some of this lower income housing. So they are extorting some of the residents in those areas. And to give you an idea, a lot of the residents in these areas are migrants. They are migrants from South America. And these gang members there were gang members there running around with
really stretching the term expert. No, he is. He's an expert of racism, dude. He's an expert of like being racist specifically to Latin American migrants. So technically he's not wrong. This is an expert. Okay. This is his fucking expertise. His expertise is being a thumb, being the most divorced person you've ever seen, and just being unimaginably racist.
You know, firearms. And they're mostly taking advantage of other migrants because those migrants are not calling the police. They're not. They are afraid to. They're afraid to maybe lose status here in the U.S. or get deported.
What has he said that's racist so far? Dog, what the fuck do you mean? The entire video is built on a fucking fabricated lie that this man has advanced, that like there's Venezuelan gangs that have actually overtaken the fucking slums, and that's the reason why the slums are in a state of disrepair, not because of the fucking landlord. Are you fucking stupid? The entire premise is racist. Even if you don't call them like slurs directly, that doesn't change the reality that you are feeding into a false narrative that there is like actual fucking Venezuelan gang members that are controlling the fucking slums, even though the video itself did not feature a single fucking Venezuelan gang member. And like the tenants that he fucking talked to straight up were like, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, this is not the best neighborhood. Yes, gunshots do happen here. Obviously, it's a poor neighborhood. But like, no, the fucking Venezuelan gangs have not overtaken this housing complex.
or they've been identified, some of them, as being Tren de Aragua. And it may be some of these young Venezuelan males claiming to be TDA just as an intimidation factor to the other migrants that are in the area. The fake news part right away is that Aurora's not fallen off the face of the earth. Like, Aurora's had a gang problem. It's always been like that. But this situation just gets exasperated because with the illegal immigration situation, most of that could be taken care of and the community could be made safer if we got rid of sanctuary policy and we allowed the immigration authorities to work with local law enforcement to get.
The funniest thing is guys like this, okay? Guys like this are obviously somewhat media trained, and liberals 3 months down the line, when there's like a fucking unearthed footage of him just calling every fucking slur known to man to like a Venezuelan person or someone he suspects as being Venezuelan, only then do they go, oh, dude, I can't believe it. Like, oh my God, he didn't just say the slurs in the interview. I'm so surprised that a former ICE agent running for office as a Republican who keeps saying that, like, you know, we got to eliminate sanctuary cities and that undocumented migrants, some of them are hardworking, but like there's a lot of criminal elements. Like, that guy was racist. I could not. I'm shocked. How many followers do I need to fight Tyler Oliveira at a YouTube event? I don't know.
These kind of guys off the street. So, I mean, it's something that we've got to be cognizant of. We've seen terrorists come across. We just got to pay attention to what's going on, and we got to make sure that, you know, we have control of our borders. So we're not allowing in this 1 or 2% of people who are just trying to take apart the U.S.